Businesses are going broke all over the place in Calgary, but City Hall's answer to the problem is to just hike business taxes and refuse to cut spending. I'll give you all the details today, and I'll take a look at some of the more ridiculous jobs that the City of Calgary is hiring for. News broke yesterday in the Calgary Sun that business insolvencies in Calgary have reached the highest levels since the 1990s. In 2004, there were an average of 990 business insolvencies per month in all of Alberta, and now that number has grown to 1,455 per month in 2019, and Calgary is bearing the brunt of all of it. We already know downtown Calgary is turning into a ghost town with 1/3 of all the retail and commercial space sitting vacant. Businesses are hurting. They're struggling. They're laying off people and they can't bear another expense. But the City of Calgary isn't doing anything about any of it. In fact, they're doing their best to make the problem worse. The Calgary Herald is now reporting that 8,000 Calgary businesses will face double-digit tax increases with no relief in sight for 2019. Double-digit tax increases. This has happened because so many businesses have closed up shop and left so much vacant retail space in downtown Calgary. So now the city is trying to collect the entire business tax base from businesses outside the downtown core by increasing their taxes. This is creating a Detroit-like situation now where even more businesses close up shop, which then passes the tax burden along to the remaining businesses who then can't bear the constant increases, and then more businesses close up and go broke, and the tax bills continue to go up on those that remain until there are just no more businesses remaining. Because, of course, as you know, continuing to raise taxes on ever-shrinking business bases seems to be a lot easier for politicians than to just cut some spending. I saw this tweet from our friends at Save Calgary who watch Calgary City Hall like hawks. They tweeted, "In the past week, the public has become aware of some questionable jobs at Calgary City Council. A cycling coordinator, a walking coordinator, and now it looks like we also have a livable streets manager." Just a side note here, as it turns out, this job has nothing to do with being forced to live on the street because the city keeps raising your taxes way too high, but let's go on with the tweet. With all these virtue-signaling buzzword titles, it's no wonder our property taxes are increasing. That tweet from Save Calgary inspired me to download the City of Calgary compensation disclosure list. I wanted to know what those 3 crazy jobs are costing the city taxpayer. I know I was a little curious too if there were other jobs that I think are also sort of useless and could go the way of the dodo bird. So I started reading that list. But first, I found the jobs listings for the newly created position of cycling coordinator, paying anywhere from $88,000 to $135,000 per year. You'll need to waste your useful degree in civil or transportation engineering or another related useful engineering field to join the Livable Streets Division of the Transportation Planning Department of the City of Calgary to implement the City of Calgary cycling strategy. This is a city, of course, that spends, a good 6 months under snow. Then I found the jobs listing for the newly created City of Calgary position of walking coordinator. And like the cycling coordinator position, this job is a yearly compensation of anywhere between $88,000 and $135,000 per year for about 35 hours of hard work per week. To apply for this job, you also have to waste a useful degree in civil or transportation engineering to implement the Step Forward Pedestrian Strategy, which I think is just a fancy name for sidewalks. And about that livable streets manager, that's an actual job. I looked it up. That person earns somewhere between $98,000 and $170,000 per year. Now back to the crazy jobs on the compensation disclosure list from the City of Calgary. Somebody who does something called being the leader of climate earns anywhere from $88,000 to $135,000 per year. Somebody who does something described as eco-mentoring earns anywhere from nearly $57,000 $60,000 to $76,000 per year. And speaking of money wasted on dumb ideas that nobody could afford in the first place, the director of Calgary's Olympic and Paralympic bid that thankfully failed, thanks in no small part to our friends at Save Calgary, was paid somewhere between $155,000 and $240,000 per year. All of these moral preening jobs, they could easily be cut with the stroke of a pen, but it's far easier to go after struggling businesses with double-digit tax hikes in one of the worst economic downturns Alberta has seen in a generation. Calgary needs leadership right now. Instead, what used to be the headquarters of the economic engine of the entire Canadian economy is being turned into Cowboy Detroit. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. Big tech and social media just love to censor conservative voices. They would love to censor us here at The Rebel, but we've built a workaround. We have a Rebel Media mobile app. It's available on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Download it, give it a try, and help us fight back against censorship wherever you go.